Gentlemen, the Marlington Athletic Department, Administration, and Board of Education would like to take this opportunity to honor our senior boys
There are no
soccer
headphones.
players and their parents to the center of the field and be recognized with your parents. Zachary Pitts is the son of David and Kelly Pitts. He is a member of the varsity boys soccer team. Zach is a member of the Auto Career Tech program at Alliance High School. His advice to future athletes is to be confident and work hard. Zachary's most memorable moment was getting the EBC title back his senior year. Following graduation, Zachary plans to become an electrician. Senior number 2, Zachary Pitts. Maxwell Nichols is the son of Christian Nichols and Scott Nichols. He is a member of the varsity boys soccer team and Auto Tech Career Tech program at Alliance High School. His advice to future athletes is to always work hard and give 100%. Max's most memorable moment was a swing set incident at team bonding. Following graduation, Max plans to attend college, majoring in accounting and finance. Senior number 7, Max Nichols. Andrew Hartzler is the son of Matt and Jen Hartzler. He is a member of the varsity boys soccer team. Andrew is a member of the Engineering Career Tech program at Marlington, National Honor Society, Duke Street Select Vocal Ensemble, and Character Counts Club. His advice to future athletes is to work hard and always respect others. His most memorable moment from his career was when he received a red card in the district final game that later got retracted. Following graduation, Andrew plans to attend college for aviation to become a pilot. Senior number 15, Andrew Hartzler. TJ Guest. TJ is the son of Sherry and Brad Guest. He is a member of the varsity boys soccer team. His advice to future athletes is enjoy it while it lasts. TJ's favorite memories from his soccer career are spending time with his friends and teammates. Following graduation, TJ plans to attend college to study accounting. Senior number 16, TJ Guest. Bowen Coleman. Bowen is the son of Darren and Lori Coleman. He is a member of the varsity boys soccer team. His advice to future athletes is to always keep an open mind and absorb as much information you can as possible. You'll never be too good to improve. Bowen's most memorable moment was winning the EBC title back this year. Following graduation, Bowen plans to attend school to pursue a job as an electrician. Senior number 18, Bowen Coleman. Michael Carmente is the son of Marlene Fletes and Felix Zavala. He is a member of the varsity boys soccer team and Spanish club. His advice to future athletes is to play with love for the game and don't take anything for granted. Time flies quicker than you think. Michael's most memorable moment is being around this group of seniors during the season. I've made unforgettable friendships. Following graduation, Michael plans to pursue certification in HVAC and begin a career in that field. Senior number 19, Michael Clemente. Braxton Gill. Braxton is the son of Melissa Martin. He is a member of the varsity boys soccer team. Braxton is a member of the Marlington Choir Council, Drama Dukes Source of Strength Student Council Character Counts Club and is a 2025 Buckeye Boys State Delegate. His advice to future athletes is always have fun and never stop trying, even though things might be hard. Braxton's most memorable moment during his soccer career was winning back the EBC title this year. Following graduation, Braxton plans to attend college to pursue a degree in nursing. Senior number 21, Braxton Gill. Enrique Diaz is the son of Maria and Jovetio Diaz. He is a member of the soccer team. His advice to future athletes is to have fun and enjoy every moment from start to finish. Enrique's most memorable moment was after a team meal when Max drank 6 or 7 cups of chocolate milk. Following graduation, Enrique plans to attend college, majoring in psychology to pursue a career as a therapist. Senior number 24, Enrique Diaz. Marcos Ramos Ruiz is an exchange student living with host parent, Dan Higgins. He is a member of the varsity boys soccer and tennis team. Marcos is a member of Ski Club and Spanish Club. His advice for future athletes is to work hard and have fun playing the game. Marcos' most memorable moment was when he scored the winning PK penalty kick for the finals of the team's tournament. When he returns to Spain, Marcos plans to study his dream career in business. Senior number 23, Marcos Ramos Ruiz. Many thanks to all our parents, grandparents, and friends who came out to honor our senior fall sports athletes this evening. Once again, please join me in congratulating all these fine student athletes on their high school accomplishments. We wish them the best in the future endeavors.
With 8 years of real estate experience and deep roots in Alliance, Heather Prince is more than just your local realtor. She's a proud graduate of Alliance High School and the University of Mount Union. She is also a lifelong supporter of her community. As a dedicated Homes for Heroes affiliate, Heather is honored to give back to those who serve. Teachers, healthcare professionals, firefighters, and EMTs, along with law enforcement who buy or sell a home with Heather, will receive a special reward check after closing. A heartfelt thank you for their service. Local, loyal, here for our heroes. Thinking of making a move? Contact Heather today. Heather Prince with Howard Hanna Real Estate Services, your hometown real estate experts.
Well, here it is. The weather, it's getting cold outside. The competition, it's heating up. And the regular season comes to a close tonight. Our encore performance, our regular season finale outside of football. It is the Marlington Dukes and the Nordonia Knights up next on SmeeSports.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to say first, all glory to God. Without him, I am nothing.
Power the shove, Neighbor Nation! We will see you on Saturday afternoon! Riley Meister gets the point!
Back into left field! Say goodnight to that baseball!
This is another one! It's back to back jacks for KSU Tuscarawas! Needs a point, and it's alive! Hanson pushes it over! Unbelievable! We play on! It's blocked! We're tied! We're tied! Unbelievable! Live from the Marlington Soccer Complex, this is OHSAA Boys Soccer on the SmeeSports YouTube channel. Today's matchup, it is our final regular season tie outside of football as the Marlington Dukes welcome in the Nordonia Knights. He's Cooper Fontaine and I am Nathan Smee on the call for you this evening. Cooper, it's cold outside, it's October, and somehow in some way, we have found the finish line for the OHSAA regular season, except for football.
Yeah, and it's just so crazy to think about. I mean, I've already called so many games this season, both with you and with Spectrum Channel 1022. Seen a lot of Marlington boys soccer, and they look to have another good game on their hands tonight.
And you look at their record so far this year, 11-1-4. They have been dominant. They swept the EBC, allowing no goals. At home this year, 6-1-3. On the road, 5-0-1. They tied their last game. That was always going to be a tough one on the road in Plains Township at Glen Oak. But they are unbeaten in their last 10. Then on the opposite end of the spectrum, you have these Nordonia Knights, losers of their last 2, but winless in their last 11. They started the year 3-0, but outside of a victory against Akron Ellet, they haven't won.
Yeah, and like you said, strong start, just have not been able to hold it throughout the season. I think it will definitely be a game in favor of the Dukes, especially considering their strength of schedule and how well they've performed this year. As going into the playoffs, you have to think they're going to make a very deep run.
And you look at that playoff bracket, we have some tasty matchups in there. Next week it's Ravenna, but after that, Cooper, you get the winner of Salem and Louisville here once again at the Marlington Soccer Complex. That's one heck of a matchup right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Louisville, a team that I was able to watch and broadcast that game against Alliance, and it was a very competitive game. I thought Alliance was going to win it, but the Louisville Leopards were able to come away with a win there. Very competitive teams. Northeast Ohio, the EBC, basically any team in this vicinity is always competitive. It's always going to be a good matchup.
And not to look too far ahead, but looking back to last year, you add in that game in the playoffs, plus this year, the combined score line between Marlington and Louisville in their last 2 games, take a guess.
Tied.
1-0 Marlington overall, and that was a 1-0 victory back in October in the district semifinals. They played back in the middle of September, and that game was a fruitless 0-0 draw, so a lot's on the line for that one. But looking again at tonight is senior night. We celebrate the class of 2026 once again. How do you think that serves as a motivation factor for these Marlington Dukes, especially the underclassmen wanting to help out their senior counterparts tonight?
Yeah, senior night is always a huge just motivational factor, like you said. I saw it with Alliance against St. Thomas. I was on the call there with Josh Tovar, and every senior scored for Alliance, which when Cole Pasco is playing goalie and he's a senior and he gets to score on senior night, you just have to think how motivated that squad was. And a strong squad like the Dukes, they're definitely going to be motivated in this game.
They want one more big regular season victory. Already a top 100 team in the state of Ohio coming into play tonight as team number 69 in the state. They have been great. This team, their whole core came back pretty much from last year, and the core looks to come back again next season. You see their huddle, a lot on their minds right now. Maybe Ravenna, maybe Louisville, maybe regionals. But the main thing that has to be on their mind tonight is these Nordonia Knights, a team that really fits the bill of, okay, the record's not great, but they can sneak up on you and easily take one off of you.
Yeah, they have nothing to lose going into this game, like you said. The Dukes, this is not a game to brush off for them. This is a game for them to help them power through the end of the regular season.
And power through they have to. You look once again at their unbeaten run. They want to get that up to 11 before they enter the OHSAA playoffs. And then every win from there on out, it keeps their season alive and it extends that streak. You win here, the moment that streak ends is the moment that your season is done. And that's kind of a scary prospect.
Yeah, and especially with teams like Nordonia where you think their record's not as good. They have nothing to lose, like I said earlier. And when it teams like them make the playoffs, you look at them, they play with reckless abandon, and those are teams that the Dukes just do not want to end their season to.
And the social media comments as well. We do have to talk about that, the back and forth between Nordonia and Marlington Barstool earlier today in our comment section. They're making this kind of a rivalry game, even though it's not.
It's not a real rivalry game. They're not in the same conference, but I always like it when, the fans are able to make a game, a real rivalry game, get it a little more spicy.
And as I've made the drive from Alliance out to Nordonia High School, 59 minutes separate these two teams as I made that trip back in November for some OHSAA football. But as our PA announcer is back to his script, we will let him finish. And we will also have the national anthem. After that, it's time for kickoff. It's the Dukes. It's the Knights. Up next on SmeeSports.
Damon Smith, Anthony Dio. Alan Fernandez Lopez. Adik Baladogan. Christian Hernandez Lopez. Maxwell Washington. Crosby Chanel. Colby Leitner. Casey Lanyagupa. And the starters, Daniel Hausuk. Mark Wetzel. Michael Washington. Christian Pinkering. Tyler Banuk. Deshaun Rafferty. Mason Banuk. Jeremiah Wiggins. And the captains, Jackson Neal. And Jeremy Cermak. And Charles Wheaton. And now for your Marlington Dukes. Head coach Clayton Calgill. Assistant coaches Alex McDaniel, Quentin Motice, and Mackenzie Laurie. Players Drew Wood, Jr. Tony Stanilla, Jr. Callan Siders, Jr. Riley Shannon, Jr. Armani Stanilla, Jr. Deegan Cowden, sophomore. Tyler Klausner, freshman. Michael Carmente, senior. Andrew Frederick, Jr. Braxton Gill, senior. Jonah Kaiser, Jr. Marcus Ramos, Jr. Enriquez Diaz, senior. And your starters, Brock Swisher, Jr. Zach Pitts, Senior. Tommy Miller, Jr. Aiden Tate, Jr. Turner Hoffman, Jr. Andy Hartzler, Senior. TJ Guest, Senior. Logan Smith, Sophomore. Bowen Cohen, Senior. And your captains, Junior Caleb Schumacher. Senior Max Nichols. To honor America, please stand and join in the playing of our national anthem.
Well, there you have it, your starters, your anthem, everything we need. The only thing left to do, Cooper, is play the game. The regular season finale, it is here on SmeeSports. Once again, he's Cooper Fontaine, and I am Nathan Smee on the call for you this evening. We've broken this game down already, Cooper. It's senior night. Marlington, the number 2 seed in their district, number 9 overall. They have a great unbeaten streak of 10. A lot on the line for them tonight. How do you manage the expectations of a hungry Marlington supporting side on the far flank?
Well, I think if you're Marlington, you have to be aggressive. Marlington is a very aggressive squad. They have a lot of great scorers. We really saw it against Alliance with 2 of some of the best goals I think I've seen all season. I mean, it was really great. The absolutely incredible free kick from Aiden Tate was the one that really set it off for them. But, yeah, you just have to come out aggressive. You know that it's senior night. You know what's on the line here. You have to play and just meet those expectations and rise to the occasion.
And speaking of expectations, once again, this is a game that really does epitomize that statement. As for Nordonia, they have to go on the road to begin the playoffs, and that's not going to be an easy matchup as they have to take on a very talented squad in Akron North.
Yeah, and the playoffs, it's always a challenge for many teams, you know, especially with, like I said, northeastern Ohio being a very competitive area for all sports, to be completely honest. I mean, it's just incredible the amount of talent you have here, the amount of hungry teams that are just looking to, you know, win and continue to lengthen the strength of their program.
And speaking of hungry, an early attack for the Marlington Dukes, and they will get a throw in deep in their attacking area. Not much that you have to do to get to that point, but to have this opportunity less than a minute in, that's really big for them.
Yeah, maybe about, I can't see the clock, but I'd say about 30 seconds maybe.
30 seconds on the dot as we just passed that point now. Ball played back in, potentially going out of play. Now loose inside the 18-yard box. The Marlington Dukes, they want an early strike against these Nordonia Knights. And instead, they will reset the situation. Miller on the near flank. Tries cutting it back up pitch, and it goes out of play off of a Knight. And you can kind of see him down below. Coach Clayton Cowgill, he has been here for a long time. He wants them to up this tempo.
Yeah, and he is one of the best coaches in the area, one of the best coaches in the EBC. For me, I think it's him, and then the Girls Alliance coach, Matt Horning, who is unfortunately stepping down from coaching after this year for girls soccer, which it's very sad for him.
An illustrious career for him as an aviator, but Coach Calgill still plenty left in the take for the Marlington Dukes. Here's the corner, and nicely snatched in between the posts. That's the strong kind of grab you need to see from Nordonia in this game. Their defense, they have to be strong, and it starts with plays like that.
And, speaking of strong defenses, you look at who Marlington has in between the posts for them. It's Brock Swisher, who we talk about so much on these broadcasts. It's him and Cole Pasco, who I feel like come up so often.
And looking at the goalkeeper for the Nordonia Knights, it is number 29 in between the posts tonight. That is Jeremiah Wiggins, 49 saves on the year. And with that snatch, you can make an argument that he is now halfway to that century mark. Marlington continuing to be aggressive now on the far flank. They want an early chance here, but if the JV game is any indication, it'll take a late goal for them to win, as that was a 1-0 thriller. I believe they did count the goal in the end. A Duke does go down inside the 18-yard box. They will say no foul. That was Coleman going for it, but that was just simply a nice box out.
Yeah, like you said, that JV game, it literally came down to the last minute. I mean, we were standing up here just kind of looking at it, and it was just impressive what was going on with those Dukes. I mean, at the end, that is.
The end is all it took for us to have a winner in that matchup. I do think this one will be more clear-cut than the JV matchup, but you never know. You got to play the game for a reason, and Nordonia, they're a scrappy bunch. And they will scrap up the pitch. Shoemaker hits it out of play, and it'll be a throw-in down below for the Nordonia Knights.
And the Knights have their first great opportunity in Duke's territory so far. The throw-in coming in.
Washington plays it on forward, trying to pick up Wetzel. Too far in the end. The Knights able to intercept it again. Poke to the right side by Pickering. Nobody home once again for Nordonia. But these Knights, they like to stay close to the ball. A lot of pings, a lot of changing in possession, or rather changes of possession. And that'll continue throughout this game. Marlington trying just to create a couple of good passes back to back. But yet again, Nordonia able to clear it, and right back to the Dukes it goes. They get a foot in, they get a chest in, they get something in. But possession goes right back to Marlington. That's just kind of what we've seen so far from them. That time they try and pick up Pickering again in the center of the pitch. Not going to work. And here come the Marlington Dukes. Coleman played up the near wing. The flag does stay down. It's a great opportunity for the Marlington Dukes. Here is the cross from Coleman, and picked up in between the posts by Wiggins.
A good opportunity there. You saw Coleman on the near sideline. After a little bump, he tries to cross it over, but nobody home there for the Dukes. They've had a few opportunities early, but they have not been able to capitalize. Granted, it is only about 4 or 5 minutes in here. But, I think a lot more opportunities will come for them.
Nordonia, they want the first opportunity of this matchup, and we saw a very similar affair last night at Minerva as they took on New Philly in girls soccer. New Philly had the first really big chance. If it wasn't for a goal line clearance, the Quakers would have been on top 1-0 early on. Nordonia trying to do the same thing, but just completing the mission instead. And you look at their opponents in common. The big one is the 3-3 draw that Nordonia had against Streetsboro. Marlington, easy work, 6-0.
Yeah, and that comparison of teams that you have beaten or haven't beaten, I think sometimes that gets in the heads of teams. You're looking at them, they're like, oh, we tied them 3-3, but they totally whooped them. And I think as a player, you have to be able to overcome that mental block, and that will be key for the Knights if they want to take the win here against the Dukes.
Wiggins off his line, goes to the ground and scoops it up with ease. And those are the smart plays that you have to make in a game where you are supposed to lose. You really have to make sure you do everything right. The little things, the small technical details that against other teams you might not have to do. But then again, a top 75 team in the state is your opponent tonight. You got to be on your best behavior all the way around.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, just clean up the little things. You don't want to have unnecessary fouls or handballs or what have you. Things like that just tend to get in the way and make the game harder than it needs to be.
Throw in now for the Marlington Dukes, and they will just play this one short. Smith. Now Aiden Tate. Tate, 12 goals, 4 assists on the year for him, leading the team in goals. Coleman led in stride towards the top of the 18-yard box, but an excellent box out denies him. That was Charles Wheaton, the senior, getting in the way, guiding the ball towards Wiggins.
Great heads-up play by him, just letting the ball get to his goalie, not making the goalie make a hard play, and not making it any easier for Komen.
And as well, I will say there is some extra paint on the field tonight at Marlington. Some ribbons for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, as that is what the month of October is. Great to see it. You see some down below right in front of our 2 huddle cams. You see some on the edges of the 18-yard boxes. You see some of the corner flags. Just a great gesture by Marlington to do that.
Yeah, that's always great to see. I love to see always, especially in football, the players wearing the pink accessories to show their support. It's a great cause.
The Dukes once again trying to build an attack. Wheaton will shield off Komen, but that ball's going to stay in, and he has to get rid of it for a throw-in. And that's the difference that you'll see when you play on grass opposed to turf. Turf that rolls out and you do your job. Grass, it stops, and now it's a throw-in for the Marlington Dukes, and a chance once again to create a goal-scoring opportunity.
Yeah, and that's something, again, that we talk about a lot at Marlington is they have a lot of home field or home court advantages. The field, they play on dirt, which is not quite as common nowadays, especially with all the teams that are, transferring to turf. But you really look at it with the Duke Dome, which is their gymnasium, but it's not really a dome at all, as they actually have rather short ceilings. So in volleyball, there's an extreme home field advantage for them.
It's not tall man approved, but luckily I don't have to deal with that.
Yeah, J-Rod, on the other hand, he's hunched over, getting up in the skybox.
Has a little bit of that popcorn ceiling finish on the hair when he's leaving the press box. That's not going to be the case tomorrow, though, as we will be at the football field for the first time somehow. Somehow we've never been at Marlington's football field for a game. But that'll change tomorrow, and I'm really looking forward to that one. That'll be against Minerva. And realistically, that's going to be one of the games of the week if you look at closeness.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't want to make this about teams losing, but they both lost in a similar fashion, I would say, to West Branch. And Minerva is very competitive this year, especially as they have 4 wins, if I'm not mistaken. And that is the best that they've done in quite some time.
Once again, 4-96 in the past 10 years, 4-3 this year.
I think change is a-coming in Minerva.
Well, when you have Zach Slates as your head coach, that definitely does help a little bit, just a little bit, as he was a legend over at Massillon Perry High School. Wiggins picking that one up at Nordonia. They definitely know the sport of football very well. A lot of good players, and one of their old players, Rocco DiLorenzo, the old running back, now at Otterbein. He has earned himself, I believe, the RB2 job out in Westerville as a freshman.
Wow.
So congratulations to him, as he was fun to watch against Green last year in a game I covered. Marlington potentially getting in, but a good clearance sends it away for a corner, as that is Rafferty, the sophomore, clearing the line. I get why you can see the corner there, but at the same time, I would have rather seen a play towards one of the sidelines, preferably the far side, as that is where momentum really pushed him.
Yeah, and again, it's just the small things. Conceding a corner.
And that ball almost getting caught up by the 6-yard box. Wiggins able to pick it up as Marlington very nearly in on goal there.
Yeah, that was very close, just slightly off on the tap-in. But like I was kind of saying, conceding a corner, especially in a kind of a 50-50 situation like that, it's like you could concede the corner, but you could definitely make a play out of that.
And speaking of making a play, here's a great opportunity for the Marlington Dukes. But once again, another great piece of defending by Nordonia. Rafferty that time able to box out and win possession back for the Knights. And this will spark a counterattack. That is how you truly play as an impact defender. Obviously, you need to defend your line. But at the same time, if you can create these opportunities, even if they're not necessarily goal-scoring opportunities, that really does help out your team's cause.
Yeah, and Nordonia has actually been very good on defense tonight, especially against a highly offensive-powered squad in Marlington.
Nordonia is just one of those schools that whenever you see them, you're going to shake in your boots a little bit, as they're a team that is very scrappy no matter the sport. And here come the Marlington Dukes once again. Good defense by the Knights, but still with the Dukes, it's Nichols, one of the seniors. He wants a goal on senior night, and it is off the post. The post says not so fast. The Duke still an opportunity to strike. A Duke goes down inside the penalty area. The official says no. Marlington thinks there was a case for a penalty. I would have to agree, but we say play on, and there it goes out of bounds.
Yeah, again, it was definitely close, but stoppage of time now for some substitutes for the Dukes.
You have to feel for Nichols there. He did everything right, and it's his home field denying him a goal-scoring opportunity on his own senior nights.
Right off the crossbar. I mean, that's That's heartbreaking. But I'm sure he'll get another opportunity. He's a great player. We've seen him show out quite a few times here.
The Dukes know how to create opportunities. That is what makes them such a great team. They might not score on every single one of them, but there's a reason why the Marlington Dukes are averaging 3.4 goals per game. And then on the defensive end, averaging just over half a goal allowed per game.
Yeah, and that 3.4, that's impressive, especially when you look at they're putting up 3 goals against teams like the Alliance Aviators, who hadn't even allowed more than 2 goals the whole season. Their largest loss margin was only 1 point in a 2-1 loss.
And you look at the Dukes of who they allowed goals to: Lake Center Christian, Highland. Then you got to go a little bit further. 2 to Fields, 2 to Glen Oak, 1 to Poland and Revere. And here's a goal scoring opportunity in the meantime, and there is the opening goal for the Marlington Dukes. And just like that, Marlington on senior night is on the board first. That's what you want to see from these Dukes. They create goal scoring opportunities. Even when they do concede against those teams, they find a way to get on the board.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just like that, a great opportunity, like you said. They just pushed it up, made the pass, and it was an easy tap-in.
Tap-ins get the job done in any game. And just like that, it's the home team on the board first. But going back to the example of who they have allowed goals to, Revere, Poland, and Glen Oak was 2, but otherwise, not many teams. The most they've allowed in a single game this year is 2. And if history does repeat itself here, then this game, it's going to go in favor of these Marlington Dukes.
Certainly. They have a great offense and a great defense as well, especially with Brock Swisher playing goalie.
Maybe an even better defense than offense, which is really insane to say given the statistics.
Yeah.
And the whistle blows, 27:25 on the clock. We will have a stoppage here. And I believe there is an injured Knight. And we will have a substitution here. It is going to be Samir Romero subbing in. And we will see who he is replacing. Actually, there's going to be an extra change. This is going to be a sophomore coming in. And here as well comes Romero.
Sub for Nordonia, Casey Lanagupa, and Samir Romero.
That is Long Yan Gopo subbing in for the Nordonia Knights. And as well, the other player subbing out for Nordonia, that is going to be Cermak the senior. So an unfortunate injury there. But going back to that goal, just perfectly led in stride. And they've been playing over the top all night. And they do it once again. Here comes the set piece from Nordonia. They want to get back in this game quick. And that sky chance will go out of play. And it'll be a goal kick for Brock Swisher and the Dukes.
And that was the first time we really saw the ball go Brock Swisher's way so far.
And now we want to figure out who pushed the ball in. Tough to tell from the angle that we had. And we'll try and figure that out in the meantime here. It was a nicely created opportunity. And once again, just tough to tell here. So, and even upstairs, they didn't have a name either. So we'll get that information hopefully at halftime, as we want to know, obviously, who put the ball in the back of the net. But back to the action, out of play on the far side, and it'll be a throw-in for the Nordonia Knights. For those just tuning in moments ago, Marlington getting on the board first. A good one-on-one opportunity created, and yet again, it was created because Marlington likes to play over the top of the defense. It's kind of like air raid football, just get it over the defense.
Right, and Marlington is so good with the passing. They're just able to get those passing plays rolling. Those 1-2, just quick touch passes, and just, like you said, floating it in over the defense and making some great plays and easy opportunities.
Nordonia once again trying to build an attack, but this Marlington defense so strong. And here comes the counterattack. It is Riley Strand, and he is through on goal. And Shannon finds the back of the net. 2 quick fire strikes for the Marlington Dukes, and there is the backflip added on.
Wow, that was impressive. That was amazing.
Goal number 6 on the year for Riley Shannon. It is the Dukes in control, up 2-0. And this is where they want to just run away with it. But look at that pace and just that physicality to get through one-on-one and pow.
Right over top net. I mean, that was beautiful.
And then does the backflip at the end of it as well.
And I think we just missed the backflip, unfortunately.
Just missed the backflip. So very close. So close, but yet so far.
And it's crazy to think that's what we're, most disappointed about after that is, oh, we didn't get the backflip.
But the physicality there from Riley Shannon, truly impressive. That's what you want to see from him. You want to see him box out, creating leverage. The Dukes up by 2. They want more. They want a potentially running clock heading into that second half. And they have a chance to get a third here. Beautiful ball, but there is the offside flag. And yet again, Max Nichols will be denied. If he would have been onside, that would have been beautifully nuzzled in the near post.
Yeah, and again, you just got to think, poor Max Nichols. Two golden opportunities just taken away from him. One from the offsides flag, the other coming from the side post. And again, I think he'll get his opportunity. He is one of the stars of this team, a name that we mentioned quite a bit. That ball just right off the referee.
I mean, to be fair, Nordonia's primary color is green, so there is green in the area.
Yeah, it's just not quite light enough to match the goalie's kit.
And not the right shade either. Nordonia more of a darker green. And obviously wearing white on the road tonight, so more of a moot point than anything. Good battle on the far side. Cermak trying to win it back for the Knights, but once again, possession Marlington. These Dukes are a physical team. We saw it against the Lions, but even in non-rivalry games, they will bring out every little bit of physicality. Another chance here, but a nice job by the goalkeeper, Wiggins, coming off his line and scooping it up for an easy stop.
And Wiggins has done a pretty good job being able to come off his line and knowing how much time he has to get to the ball. Aside from that one poke in scored by Marlington, he's done a great job so far, I would say.
And Shannon once again trying to get in on the ball. Shannon will go down, but it'll be a corner instead as it was on the follow-through. That was Vunk trying to get the tackle there, and it was able to easily clear it away. But Marlington, they like to score on these corners.
Yeah, and Shannon's physicality has been great. We just saw him there getting a little rough inside, and that's how he was able to score his first goal.
And here comes the corner right in the middle of the 6-yard box and headed away, and they will let the Dukes do it again.
A second opportunity. This could be deadly for the Dukes. We know how good they are set pieces.
And it's a quick short corner. Nicely done. That is Siders picking it up. And a great opportunity for the Marlington Dukes. It's Tate. The reverb goes to the near flank. Siders now whipping it in. Beautiful cross. Going a little bit further back than he would have desired. Picked up, though, in stride by Ramos. And he will play it out to the wing. Marlington trying another cross, this time from the opposite side. Same result, blocked inside the 18-yard box. And the Knights are able to clear their lines. And here comes their counterattack. Good poke to the wing, but nobody available. Schumacher trying to guide it to safety, and he does so successfully.
And great job by the Nordonia Knights, able to just pack the box and not allow Marlington to score off of those two corner kicks. And like you said, Aiden Tate had the give-and-go opportunity off of the short one, the shorter of the two. And we saw Aiden Tate have an incredible goal against Alliance. He's dangerous in open field, but just great job by Nordonia being able to get in front of the shot and stopping anything from going in favor of the Dukes.
Good throw in, played back by Frederick, and it'll find its way to Miller. The Dukes trying to catch Nordonia off guard. Good poke inside the 18-yard box, but once again, there is the offside flag, and once again, it is on Max Nichols. This is getting eerily similar to Apollo Prince last year on senior night.
Yeah, I remember that game very well against St. Thomas, just as I was this year, but Apollo was just...
He was the only one not to score. Thomas Aquinas shut him down in the second half. A late penalty gave him his goal.
Yeah, that was very lucky. Now, Alliance this year, senior night, everyone was able to score and more. I believe, we even saw some sophomores getting in, I believe. Jace Jones, whose brother was a senior last year, Cam Jones, he scored, and it was a great game overall for the Alliance Aviators.
Cole Pasca, did he score?
He did score.
Very nice.
It took him a while to score, though. It was very fun to watch. You're watching him play a position he really doesn't ever play except on when there's a blowout game, and then he comes in, and it was just great. People are setting him passes, but he's just not setting his feet because he's a goalie, and everyone's like, "Cole," they're yelling at him. But it's all in good fun. It's fun because it's senior night, and you love to see it. High school sports it's more than a sport.
It's always a fun time. Beautiful ball played in. Shannon led in stride. Only one man to get past. Tipped behind. And kind of a collision there. Tate getting the better of it. Played forward, or rather Frederick getting the better of it. And he will once again step inside the passing lane. Miller. The Dukes, they want a third. Good cut by Miller. Squares it across the 18-yard box. Here's the chance. And it is through the uprights.
And it is in. 3 points on the scoreboard for the Marlington Dukes.
Unfortunately, not the right kind of football. You have to wait 24 hours for that one.
Yeah, but that was a great opportunity for the Dukes there. Again, good with the sequences of passing, able to get it inside. Just a bit off on the execution as the ball goes soaring above the goal.
And it goes right back to the Dukes, but a heavy touch gives it back to Nordonia, which almost led them in stride, but in the end it goes to Marlington. And I think yet again mistimed by Nichols as he would have been offside. But he lets it go, and that'll keep possession with the Dukes, but just with a play in deep, deep positioning. Almost out of play. I was going to say it was going to be a deep throw-in, but instead it's a beautiful ball played in towards Riley Shannon, and Shannon pokes it in! Goes right through Wiggins and finds the back of the net. But it might come at a big cost. Shannon looking down right now. And you can tell he is in some pain, but there he is. He's getting up. He's loving it. And that is the third goal of the night for the Marlington Dukes. What a finish.
Yeah, and again, Shannon just showing the physicality that we saw in the first goal. That time a little more of it, able to beat the goalie to the ball and just poke it through. I mean, that was a really impressive play. You saw that Wiggins, the goalie for the Knights, was just absolutely distraught after letting that one through. And Shannon just went down. I think he was hurting, but he looks to be he's on the sideline now, which is unfortunate to see. But another goal for Marlington as they now go up 3-0 against Nordonia.
And the thing is, Nordonia is lucky that ball went in. Looking at the footage again, he never got the ball. That would have been a straight red. That would have been denying a clear goal-scoring opportunity if he got no ball. And beyond that, a heavy challenge. I mean, the goalkeeper can do that if he gets the ball. If not, that's a red.
Yeah, heavy to say the least.
But Shannon getting some treatment down below us. Hopefully he will be okay. But either way, on the double already, he has been truly impressive. Marlington wasting no time. They are in again. It is Max Nichols for the Marlington Dukes. Can he get on the board on senior night? Not quite, as Wiggins once again picks it up. And here it is once again, our storyline. We want to see him find the back of the nets. But still, just can't get over that metaphorical wall.
Yeah, and, well, somewhat of a physical wall with Wiggins for Nordonia. But, yeah, again, Nichols, he's a player who we like here on SmeeSports, but he has been unable to score tonight so far.
And speaking of things we like, what a term. And here come the Dukes. It was Shoemaker with it, and there is the long pass. But that was a nice Cruyff turn just outside the 18-yard box, and it'll go out for a Marlington throw. That was nice.
Yeah.
That takes talent, and that takes coordination beyond our, I would say, furthest imagination.
Yeah, and definitely beyond our physical ability. I thought that's where you were going to go with that, and I was like, yeah.
I mean, you're the active athlete. You have a better shot. I played soccer for a long time, though, so who has a better shot of not looking foolish trying that same move?
Yeah, that's tough. I was going to say, I've never played soccer. That was never my sport.
And once again, a ball played through, but as we saw against Alliance, the offside issue.
Yeah.
That is one thing that Marlington does need to clean up entering the playoffs. Obviously, right now, up by 3, this is their game. But you got to clean up the little things entering the OHSAA tournament. One loss, you're done. And they have to understand that. And I feel like this team is just too talented to go one and done or two and done.
Yeah, especially with the season that they've had so far, right now sitting at 11-1-4. This is an incredible Marlington Dukes team, a team that, like we've mentioned, has shut out the entire EBC. And the EBC is not weak in soccer. The Alliance Aviators, who controversially won the EBC last year, I mean, it was a hard-fought year so far for the Dukes, and like you said, I would just hate to see them go one and done, even as their crosstown rivals.
And the Dukes are in once again, an opportunity to make it 4, but across the face of goal it goes and out of play. And as well, you want something added onto that for conference play? If you go back to the old NBC by throwing in Louisville, the clean sheet across the board is still intact. Howland wasn't in that conference, were they?
Howland was not. Louisville and, I believe, Canton South were.
Okay, I mean, they didn't play Canton South, so against old NBC opposition as well, that clean sheet was completely transferred to as well, which is just insane. But that'll be put into question regardless, as Salem's EBC, Louisville Old NBC, and now All-American, the AAC as of the 2027 school year. Joining the likes of, I believe, what is that, Canfield, Fitch, those guys?
Yeah, and it's also good to see Louisville finally joining back into a conference.
I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah.
I mean, they have the talent. It's not too far of a draw. It could be worse. And here comes a change for the Knights.
Yeah, I like the way you put it. It could be worse.
Because the thing is, the EBC, every team, I think we can agree, are within 30 minutes potentially.
Yeah.
Wait, what about Carrollton and like a Salem or a West Branch?
Those would be the furthest away, but they're still not too far.
Beautiful ball in, a one-on-one opportunity. That time Wiggins gets ball, and Wiggins gets the stop.
And Wiggins just looking a little shaken up on that right leg, it looks, but was good for that clear. And Wiggins has been getting lit up, this game so far.
And I'll tell you what, as a former goalkeeper, get me that kid in any team in that age group, man. I mean, that's the intangible you want to see. He is not afraid of going after that ball. That's the kind of player I want in my team.
Yeah, normally you see players like that not afraid of the contact playing football or something like that. But Wiggins plays soccer for Nordonia, and you just see the grit from him, being able to stay in this game after getting, I would say he got clobbered on 2 of those.
Loose ball inside the 6-yard box, a chance for Nordonia, and that is the first true save of the night for Brock Swisher. 25 minutes in, and finally he is called into action. But Brock Swisher, what a goalkeeper. We've talked about him. I think now the best goalkeeper in the EBC, you can say, best in Stark County, question mark.
Yeah.
You could argue it.
It's definitely an argument to be made. He is an incredible player.
Ball played in across the face of goal. Marlington still a chance to play it right back in. Numbers getting forward. It's Miller cutting inside the 18-yard box. Some shifty moves. Goes to the bottom of the box. And there is the clearance by the Nordonia Knights. But excellent mastery of the dribbling from Tommy Miller.
Yeah, Tommy Miller showing off the incredible foot skill, the coordination. He just navigated through those guys like it was nothing. That was incredible to watch.
The Man United CR7 highlights before the injuries. And Ronaldo was still a great player, but Man United Ronaldo the first time, that's where it was at. The foot skills, man. You look at what Miller did there, very comparable. Just a lot of moves, a lot of intricate pieces. Loose ball, and that time it'll go out of play before a touch, and it'll be a goal kick. But if you haven't seen those highlights, Cooper, I advise, go look it up. Go look up first time Ronaldo at Man U. Then he had a couple knee injuries. Still a great player, obviously. He's an all-time great. But that's when he was more of a skiller, more of a Neymar, had that, I want to say, Brazilian flair, even though he's Portuguese. But that's kind of what you associate those foot skills with.
Yeah, and I will admit, soccer, a sport I definitely need to indulge in
Yes,
more,
you do.
especially at the professional level.
Be a Man U fan. Come join me in misery every Saturday.
Yeah, I would say I know more than the average Joe, but I don't watch soccer highlights, especially not like I do basketball highlights. Basketball is my sport, so I'm excited for basketball season.
You turn on the J.R. Jackson highlights. I know that. Yeah. And probably Rip Hamilton giving your Pistons jersey.
Well, this is actually Grant Hill jersey that I'm wearing right now, but
Rip was still good back in the day.
Yeah.
Beautiful ball over the top once again for the Marlington Dukes, and they might be in again. Loose ball behind, now picked up by Guess. Guess trying to battle through the defense. Nordonia still resilient, and the flag will go up anyway.
And you heard me after that ball was in the air go, holy, because that was a great ball. Again, like you said, the air raid, they're just playing it over and dropping it in beautifully.
I didn't know that Cliff Kingsbury knows Marlington Duke soccer. Going back to his days with Kyler Murray, the old air raid offense.
Wow. Kyler Murray.
When you can draw a comparison between football and soccer being air raid, that just really says how good these passes are.
Yeah, well, I think if you want to draw the comparison between football and football.
I will make that comparison, and we just did.
But, yeah, I mean, when I think Kyler Murray and I think soccer, you know who my mind goes to? Jackson Brace of the Alliance Aviators.
Oh, no.
I'm just kidding. JB, if you're listening. It's okay. We're good friends. I'm allowed to make fun of his height. For those of you who don't know, Jackson Braced is a player for the Alliance Aviators boys soccer team who is not of great stature. But, you know, we always say he plays with his heart over his height. He's great.
But back to the action. Coleman in with an opportunity. Good cut to his left. Here's the chance, and it is hit. What a strike for the senior. Bowen Coleman puts it in. Goal number 4 on the year, and goal number 4 tonight for the Marlington Dukes.
Yeah, I mean, you saw him after he got that. He was fired up, and rightfully so. That was a great goal by him, just navigating through traffic, cutting it back beautifully right there. You see the tap, and then pokes it through. I mean, how about that?
That's nasty. That is a great goal.
That is spectacular, and that's something that we have seen quite a lot from these Marlington Dukes are the nasty goals. The goals that you watch and you're like, oh, you can't even, you have no words. It's just sound effects.
I feel like they're playing a melee attack style inside the box. They bring it right to the goalkeeper, say, catch us if you can.
Yeah, and it's working so far.
And they have a chance to have it work again, but there it is. There's the offside flag, and whoa, what a follow-through. That is Wiggins, and he might have some extracurriculars to deal with. Wow.
And we've seen him get a little animated after the more recent goals were scored. I believe after the second goal, you could see him pounding the dirt, and maybe he's taking a little bit of that anger out. And, I mean, if that's me, I think you have to ask for a card there. I mean, he was.
If that's run out play, that's a red.
Yeah, that was after the whistle, after the flag. But and I'm gonna ask. I don't have the angle, but was that Max Nichols on that far side?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. I had to make sure because
that was. But I will say that was the kind of Alisson-like. We're just kind of flying into the attacker. I mean, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, definitely a.
I want to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but the whistle blew. Obviously, you can't stop momentum, but the way that he challenged. If he got ball, then that's fine.
Yeah,
I don't think he did.
You know, we'll probably have to watch it back, but.
And it looks like they're warming up a new goalie. That is Nordonia. We'll see if that's the case. That is what we are seeing developing down below as their backup goalkeeper, I don't think, is in the game. That would be Chanel the Junior.
And that's one of the benefits of being up in the multi-level press box here at Marlington is we can kind of look down into the benches. Well, not into the benches, but behind the benches and nearby the dugouts.
I think the Marlington Dukes wanted to hear our thoughts on that crazy follow-through from Wiggins. They were looking up, and they saw my little signal there.
Yeah, well, we're not going to say too much here on SmeeSports.
No. I'm not a ref for a reason. There's a reason why I'm up here.
Yeah.
I also don't have any certifications for it either. That would not help either. But still, less than 10 minutes to go. And now, once again, there's a whistle. But less than 10 to go in the first half. 4-0 your score. An interesting game so far. Marlington hoping this is a precursor to tomorrow's football game. They look for a big victory over the Minerva Lions. Join us at 6:15 for pregame and 7 p.m. for kickoff live at Marlington High School right across the way, which, depending on how we angle the camera, we may be able to get some kind of silhouette of the high school itself. Potentially, as we are across the way from it.
It might just be a little bit too dark if you ask me. But
yeah, I see some lights. That's about it on that far side. Otherwise, it's just the wilderness and some cornfields.
That is one of the things that I really do like about Marlington, their high school. All their facilities and everything's all on the same road. And that's very neat.
Then there's Holy Name. We play our home football games at Brooklyn. We play hockey at Reese, which is middle of Parma. Baseball at Tri-C. Softball at John Bosco. I mean, we have games in 3 or 4 different cities.
Yeah, and at Alliance, you know, we've been blessed with being in the same city as the great Mount Union, and so we use their football field. We do have our own football field. It's just we don't have the
lights.
Well, we have the lights. We just don't have the seating. unfortunately. The seating is very limited.
Back to the action. A good long ball on the far side. The Dukes want their fifth before halftime. Good strong box out. Marlington right back on the ball after the fall. And still somehow with it. And that time there is no coming back from the challenge. And they will say it's a foul. But I think they're going to call it on the Dukes. I think we got to show the replay.
Yeah.
Time to go to our monitor. Let's see what happened here. That is a positive. I will say that having the monitor to watch the replay back is always great. I mean, there's a strong play. I don't know.
Yeah, it looked like they were both going for the ball there. I didn't see anything too physically imposing or
Nothing crazy.
yeah, nothing too wild. I don't think I would have to say I agree with that call. But again, I'm not a referee, and that's why I'm up here in the press box.
The defense once again springing into action is Wheaton sealing off, but intercepted right away by the Marlington Dukes. It's Guess on the ball. Now less than 7 minutes to play in the first half. Good flick by Coleman, picking up Guess on the far line. TJ trying to slip inside, but another good box out and a good strong challenge by the Nordonia Knights. And there is the clearance. Shoemaker up to Miller. Good ball movement by the Marlington Dukes. Miller up to Coleman. Deflected on back. Loose right in front of the halfway line. And Shoemaker picks it up inside Marlington territory. And the Dukes are going to continue passing it short. But finally, Nordonia gets on the end of it. But not for long, forcing it out of play. And they will have a throw-in of their own with 6 minutes to play in the opening 40.
And you saw it perfectly on our sideline camera. They were just going back and forth right in front of it. That was great to watch from up here. I mean, I feel like I'm about to get hit.
Luckily you're not.
Yeah, luckily.
Little safer up here than in the shed at Alliance. But we'll be back there for the playoff game against Madison next Wednesday, which that'll be a fun matchup. And then I get to go home for 1 day of fall break, so not complaining at all. And as well, next Wednesday, the media conference that is held at Alliance and at Mount Union. Make sure if you're signed up to go to the 245 local streams, real dollars and monetization session at HPCC. That'll be yours truly, along with LBN, leading the panel discussion. Really looking forward to that one, representing SmeeSports at a conference for the first time. Moving up in the world a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, I'll think about going.
You should. You should. Unless it imposes on your schoolwork.
You said, was that Wednesday?
Wednesday, 2:45.
I believe I have a full orchestra practice there, so I'm...
Priorities, man.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Do your studies. Do your studies.
I got,
And here's a long chance for the Nordonia Knights, but once again picked up by Swisher. That was Leitner with the chance.
Priorities, you said. Swisher had his priorities on the ball.
And the Dukes have their priority building this attack. It's Coleman trying to get on the double tonight, and it'll be poked away from him. I will give a lot of credit to Nordonia's defense. They have been very scrappy, very comparable to the Streetsboro Rockets. I think you could agree with that comparison, but their offense, I would say, a lot more aggressive than Streetsboro.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But if I'm not mistaken, Streetsboro did just win the MAC championship this week, beating Field.
There you go.
They were in the championship. Field could have won that game. I'm pretty sure, though, Streetsboro did win as the 1 seed. So shout out to them, as that was a good win for them. Final 4 minutes of this first half. That ball will ping out of play, and it'll be a throw-in. Once again, those needing a refresher on the actual rules of OHSAA soccer, we will have a running clock in the second half if one of these teams has a 6+ goal lead. I believe just like football, that rule only is implemented in the second half. And as things stand, we will have a quote-unquote running clock just without the continuation through the goals once the second half begins. As it's weird to call soccer a running clock or have that designation because it truly is a running clock, but you stop for the goals. Otherwise, when you're up by 6+, you don't. The game just continues. You count down. Everybody goes home. One team very happy. The other team back to the drawing board. But Nordonia, they need one before halftime to get back in this game. Temperatures noticeably now going down at the Marlington Soccer Complex. Good ball over the top. Another good chance for the Nordonia Knights. One of their players goes down inside the 18-yard box. No foul given, and there's a strong challenge and a clear foul called. That was Pickering on the far side. We've seen one card so far today, and this is potentially a spot that we see a second. And I believe we do. And the clock will stop with 2:41 left to go. But I kind of felt it in the last minute here, Cooper. It got really cold really quick.
Yeah, and, last time we were here, we talked about it. The weather coming down, fall, turning into winter. You get a little emotional, especially on a senior night like this. I mean.
And I'll tell you what, when I walked to the gym this morning and when I walked to the radio station at Mount Union, I could see my breath the whole way there.
Yeah, it's not going to be fall for much longer.
Bring on Mariah Carey and bring on the Christmas trees.
There you go. She's defrosting you guys.
It's time.
No, I don't think you hit it quite like her.
I am not going to try that.
Do you need me to give you a
No.
demonstration?
Another chance here for the Marlington Dukes. 2.5 to go. If there is eventually a SmeeSports Barstool, that would end up on it, and that's not what I want to be out there. You're not getting me tonight.
Yeah, I'm good on that too, unless they make a 1022 Barstool or something in the future. But
let's hope not.
Yeah, that's
that'd be on Bryce Fisher though. And to be fair, Bryce's birthday is tomorrow. He is not here, so happy birthday, Bryce. We're looking forward to seeing him tomorrow, and he will be with myself in DC on pregame at 6:15.
Yeah, you guys should sing happy birthday on that broadcast.
Only to Chick-fil-A.
2 minutes left.
DC with the Chick-fil-A, man.
But we do thank our one broadcast sponsor for today, Heather Prince of Howard Hanna, for bringing you today's broadcast, along with Channel 1022. Nordonia trying to build a last-minute attack here before halftime. Good movement by Nordonia. Pickering in the corner, double team by a pair of Dukes. Now up the wing it goes. And there's not much room to go. But now back to the top of the 18-yard box. Nordonia working inside of it, now outside. And there is the clearance, and that'll be a corner for the Knights. I'm liking what they're trying to do here. They're trying to work inside the box. They're trying to get down low. You got to get really up and personal with Swisher to truly get past him.
Yeah, taking the long shots on Swisher is not going to work. Brock Swisher is, we've said it before, I mean, he's possibly the best goalie in Stark County.
And there is a long chance going out of play for a goal kick. Final minute, Marlington, they want to cruise into halftime. And all signs are pointing towards them doing just that, up 4-0. This has been a great team performance. This is what you want to see on senior nights. And this is the last statement they make to the OHSAA before the playoffs. Their statement wants to be, catch us if you can.
Yeah.
Or in a lot of cases, score on us if you can.
Yeah, we talked about it. The defense is just absolutely stifling for them. And then if you can get past the defense, try outpacing their offense. They're just a absolute two-headed monster in the EBC and in Northeast Ohio.
They're truly a machine. That's the best way to describe these Marlington Dukes. Obviously, that is the catchphrase of Mount Union football up the road in Alliance proper, but I feel like it does really qualify, and it works for Marlington boys soccer and for volleyball equally. Final 5 seconds. Nordonia will clear it towards the far side, right at the Knight supporters, and that'll do it for the opening 40 minutes at the Marlington Soccer Complex. It is the Dukes on their senior night, up 4-0 on the Nordonia Knights. As both teams talk things over at the half, we will step aside on SmeeSports. A good one so far for the Dukes as they look to close out their regular season in style.
With 8 years of real estate experience and deep roots in Alliance, Heather Prince is more than just your local realtor. She's a proud graduate of Alliance High School and the University of Mount Union. She is also a lifelong supporter of her community. As a dedicated Homes for Heroes affiliate, Heather is honored to give back to those who serve. Teachers, healthcare professionals, firefighters, and EMTs, along with law enforcement who buy or sell a home with Heather, will receive a special reward check after closing. A heartfelt thank you for their service. Local, loyal, here for our heroes. Thinking of making a move? Contact Heather today. Heather Prince with Howard Hanna Real Estate Services, your hometown real estate experts.
Before we get back to the action, if you or someone you know wants to become a broadcast sponsor for our coverage in the Cleveland or Stark County area, contact us at one of those avenues on your screen, and I would love to work out a deal with you to promote the best of your business and your brand. Thank you to Heather Prince of Howard Hanna, along with Spectrum Channel 1022 Alliance, for bringing us today's broadcast. As we toss things back down to the field, Cooper, 4-0 at halftime. Your thoughts on the opening 40 as Marlington looked like the better team from the start, and they were rewarded 4 times with 4 great strikes.
Yeah, I think Marlington looked really strong. They've had a good showing so far. They've just been, and I don't want to take away from their 4-0, but even some of the opportunities they've had, they haven't been able to execute. Most notably, Max Nichols has not been able to score yet, and he's had some incredible opportunities. But, I mean, honestly, you look at how the game's going for them. They have to, stay aggressive and continue to push moving forward, especially if they want to see more of their seniors score. But it's been a good showing for them so far.
And speaking of pushing forward, an early chance here for Nichols. Plays it on back. There's the chance. And it'll sail over the post. Logan Smith in on the shot. But once again, Max Nichols getting close.
But no cigar for him. I mean, it's unfortunate. I really, really hope he scores. If he does, we can get like a post-game interview in the cold, and we were like, Max, after so many attempts, he finally scored on senior night. But
we'll see. It is cold, and I do want to get some sleep tonight as well. I still got to make the pregame show. Bryce joked yesterday about Friday morning being the time I'd send it out, but it looks like Mr. Fisher is going to be correct with that one.
Yeah. Oh, procrastination. Who doesn't love procrastination?
Hey, man, I had homework. I don't want to hear the procrastination when I had mind-boggling information for other classes.
Mind-boggling.
Something like that. But Nordonia right now, down 4-0, but they've been aggressive. They did make a goalkeeping change at the half, kind of as expected. And Marlington, they are right back in with another opportunity. I think we're seeing pretty clearly that this offense is not going to give up anytime soon. Nichols winning it back in stride. Good ball roll. And there is his pass back being deflected out of play. But it'll be a throw-in for the Marlington Dukes. Frederick. Heavy touch right back to Nordonia. Loose ball inside the 18-yard box. There is the clearance. But the Dukes still right there to win it back. Marlington, they want their 5th. 2 more, and we do have an official running clock for the remainder of tonight's ballgame. Shannon tries getting it in. As you can see, he is okay after that heavy collision. We did talk to the trainer at halftime, and he did give him the green light to go back in the game. And clearly, Riley Shannon back in. The junior, a great campaign. They really need him out there as he is an integral piece in this offense.
Yeah, super duper physical. He got physical on both of the goals that he scored in the first half. He's a great player and a key piece of this Marlington offense.
And another question, how long does that man Brock Swisher stay in this game? That's a big conversation to have, especially if you go up by 6 here. Do you see a substitution at any point? And this could make it 5. Beautiful ball on the far wing. Shannon trying to win it back with a heavy touch. He does. Now he has to try and keep it in play. A good turn by Shannon. Now needs some support from the rest of his compatriots. And he will find a Duke. Marlington getting inside the 18-yard box. It is Miller bouncing right back out. Nordonia able to clear their lines. And that'll give the defense a chance to breathe and the offense a chance to fly. A good ball in, and that ball just too long. The first one was good. The second one on the connection, too long.
And Brock Swisher will be there to clear it out for the Dukes. Brock Swisher we haven't seen too much of him so far in this game, as the Nordonia offense has been a little more reserved than their defense.
And I feel like that's not a bad thing at all. And there is the whistle going up, or the whistle and the flag going up on the far side. And it'll be a free kick for Nordonia. But you look at this game so far, it's getting cold. This is really one of the first games that is truly, I would say, freezing outside. It's only 50, but still. Yeah, that's warmer than you would expect when you say freezing. And I think once the playoffs continue, we're going to see some colder nights than this.
Yeah, it's definitely chilly. And you look at something like this, you wish you were in that Mount Union press box. But
now that can be a sauna.
I haven't had the pleasure of being in there myself, but
I walked in, I think it was end of September. It was 80 degrees in there. That's what it was set to.
Well, you got to think that would be better than this.
It was 85 degrees outside. That was awful.
Wow.
I cooked inside that box. And
Literally.
Not on the mic.
No, not literally that. Or literally cooking, not on the microphone. But, okay, maybe not the Dom Capers press box. Maybe the I don't know, Marlington press box or something like that. Just
the Duke Dome.
Just tossing it out there. Yeah. In the heat, or in the inside, out of the elements.
Nordonia, a good ball played up the pitch on the set piece, and there is the header to clear the danger for the Dukes. Why not 3 headers in a row? And the ball is sent right back to where it started. Nordonia, they're going to continue scrapping throughout the remainder of this matchup. That is a given. Shannon turning the corner. The Dukes might be in once again. Shannon squares it up behind the rest of the offense. And Nordonia gets lucky, but right back to the Dukes it goes. And another chance, and still nobody there.
Yeah, and the Dukes, a pass-first squad, although we haven't really seen it with some of the goals that they've had. It's just been one-on-one with the goalie. But they definitely have that innate ability to create excellent short passing sequences. As we saw, that one just fell short as no one was on that side of the field.
And we are now officially 1 hour into the matchup. Once again, this is our final regular season game for the fall outside of football. It's very weird to say that the season is coming to a close. Only a few more fall games left to go. 2 more football games, including playoffs right now. At least 1 more guaranteed for soccer. Maybe 1 more, maybe 2 more for volleyball. Maybe an extra soccer in there. Maybe the regional tournament at Alliance. And then from there, it's on to basketball. Or hockey first, actually. Hockey's going to come first.
And that would be cool.
Tate squares that one central in the 18-yard box and scooped up by the new shot stopper. While there is no number, I am going to assume that is going to be the backup goalkeeper, and that would be Chanel the Jr.
But back on what you were talking about, hockey, that they need to bring that to the EBC. If only there were any hockey rinks in the vicinity, but
there's one in Canton for the Akron Canton Jets.
Well, when I say vicinity, I would like to...
There's one in the city, too.
Is there now?
I think there is.
I've never been. But anyway, you know, the
I've
EBC...
been here for a year. I just want to put that out there. You've been here your whole life, and I'm picking up things. Here's the chance for Nordonia, and that one is going to sail over for a goal kick. Are you questioning your Alliance ball knowledge now?
I think I might be. I mean, I've lived here 15 years, and I didn't know that we had a hockey rink. But I think the EBC needs to expand sports. We need some
lacrosse.
Oh, lacrosse? I don't know. I was thinking men's volleyball, maybe.
I'm thinking, look, add it all. Add it all.
I don't know if that's in the budget for everyone. I think that's the problem.
That is very true. Out of play on the far side, and possession does stay with the Marlington Dukes. 30-30 left to play in regulation. Marlington still relying on those 4 first-half goals for this advantage. And that's all they have to do. They don't need to go crazy here, score 10 more goals, and win this one by 14. They don't need a 2-touchdown victory tonight.
Right.
They don't even need a 7-0 1-touchdown victory tonight.
They just need to close the game out strong. Maybe see a little more action from some of their seniors. Maybe Max Nichols. But, yeah, I think they're still playing well. They just need to keep not quite the pedal to the metal, but just need to keep it cruising.
Keep the pitchfork tuning for the playoffs.
There you go.
That's really what you have to do here. You just got to get ready for the playoffs now. You have this win. You got to prepare for Ravenna. And then after that, either Salem or Louisville. Here comes Max Nichols in on goal once again. But still, Nordonia finds a way to silence him. Rafferty, another excellent tackle. And the Knights are on the counter once again. But still, incredible resolve by Nordonia. So many reasons to give up in this game, just based on how Marlington has outdueled them. They don't give up. This is a scrappy team. This is a good team that, once again, started 3-0. There's a good team in here, and I think as long as things go like this over the next couple of years, they will be a top team. And the next big step, though, winning a game in the Suburban League. 0-7 this year. You find a win in the conference next year, that's the first step in the right direction to making this program truly great.
Yeah, and I believe we saw it with Alliance Women's Soccer. It took them a little bit to get their first conference win, but they did. And, you know, you talk about the program, and Matt Horning had set up a very good program. However, his coaching tenure, like we mentioned a bit earlier, coming to an end. A good ball played up to the midfield.
Yeah, good ball over the top once again, and Nordonia plays that one outside, and it'll go out for a throw-in. But very nearly another instance where a wayward ball goes out for a corner, and we've seen that a lot. But luckily for the Knights, it hasn't cost them a goal yet. All the goals coming from open play today for the Marlington Dukes.
Yeah, and I find that interesting because that's not their normal style of offense. They've been really just trying to just like punch it inside past the goalie. A lot of like one-on-one type of opportunities that they've scored on. Definitely not their normal style of play today.
I would agree with that. I mean, you just came off of a bruising game against Glen Oak. This is a game to focus on the true basics of the game, get a good win on senior night, wrap up this regular season 12-1-4, and then go from there into the playoffs, which that's exactly what they're doing tonight. And I think it's good that they get to play in the cold, as this is really one of the only cold games that they have played in all season. You get used to these temperatures, you get used to the environment, you get used to the grass in the cold. That's the big thing. You have 2 home playoff games if you make it that far, and you go from there. Another good through ball. A great chance for the Marlington Dukes. Denied outside the box. No use of hands. It's an excellent save for Nordonia. And yet again, their goalkeeper's very aggressive. They're not afraid to play more of a sweeper role.
And I will say this, like you said, one of the first real cold games this year. I think this is the first really cold game I've been to. I went to the Alliance home game against Akron Garfield, and it was just raining. It wasn't really too cold. But today, you know, we're really feeling the low temperatures for sure.
And we will have a whistle here and a free kick for Marlington. I think you give the ball here to Iden and you tell him, do what you did against Alliance last week.
I still get the goosebumps over that one. I mean, it was
Okay, Travis.
I get those goosebumps every time I see Iden taking a free kick.
Close enough.
You know what? We should go back to the singing. We should.
No.
SmeeSports Barstool.
I think we leave goosebumps with the old Lutheran West basketball team. It is bounced in the box, and it reverbs right back to Marlington, and that'll be goal number 5 on the night for the Dukes.
How about that?
Just mishandled inside the 18-yard box.
Yeah, the Dukes find another one. Just one away now from that running clock off the free kick.
And we'll watch this one back on the replay to see what happened here. And that bounce in just left it right for Marlington.
Yeah, and again, that's going to be a hard one to find who got that goal. But
The Dukes find creative ways to score, and for the first time tonight, it is off of a set-piece opportunity.
Yeah, Nordonia had actually been very good defending those, not letting any scores come from corner kicks. That one coming, though, from a free kick.
And back to the action we go, 28-10 in regulation. Going back to Goosebumps, that was the song that Lou West back in their prime used to run onto the court with, and that was one heck of an environment. You have that. You have Narco doing the introductions with the video. Going to the Rock was intimidating. One of the toughest places to play in all of basketball. Maybe the toughest place to play. If you see that place regular season against Lou East or a sold-out crowd, you lose your hearing after that game.
Yeah,
Even up in the skybox.
And I would say I'm someone who knows, a good basketball environment. Alliance versus Barberton was absolutely electric last year. Harry Field's Gymnasium, one of my favorite gymnasiums in the area. Although I am partly biased, but
I'll tell you what, though, for soccer, Rock Hill and this Marlington soccer complex, when it's full, it is loud, and we can hear it all the way over here even. I can guarantee you, if this is Marlington, Louisville in 2 weeks from now,
packed.
powder blue, orange, loud peanut gallery.
Yeah, and I feel like that's often how it was with Alliance baseball. I would say they like to fill up those stands. Not that there are a plentiful amount of stands at the Alliance baseball complex, but still, fans for
Turf Monster, unfortunately, in effect once again. And there is the whistle. Brock Swisher did slip a couple of times on these goal kicks, and going back to my point, this is why it's good to play on the grass in the cold.
Yeah, you got to get acclimated in. But, like I was saying, what's going to be a much larger factor is the fans. Fans are always a factor, and teams in the EBC, the fans love their sports here. It's a great community for sports.
Obviously, we're not going to be covering the game. You'll be there tomorrow night, but West Branch Alliance, that is going to be one heck of an environment.
That I'm really hoping that's going to be that's probably possibly going to be one of the best games I'll watch.
One of the best games or one of the games of all time. That's really the two options you have.
Yeah, and as someone who I've watched a fair amount of Alliance football, I was there, in 2016 and 2017 when Deuce Johnson ran over everyone in the EBC. I was there when Brendan Zerbrug tore everyone up, and now I'm here when J.R. Jackson is putting up astronomical numbers. I think this has some incredible potential.
It definitely does, and same with this Marlington Dukes soccer team. Realistically, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility to see two Dukes teams this fall in regionals, that being boys soccer and volleyball, of course. And depending on how they play, at least one, maybe both in the Final Four.
Yeah, that's not ridiculous to say that. You have on the volleyball side, Danica Sarchone, Gianna Bogunovic, Callie Young, just three absolute machines, and the whole, volleyball in Marlington is a machine from top to bottom. They're just incredible, as well as you touched earlier with boys soccer. Maybe not two of the premier fall sports, but two sports that the Marlington Dukes excel at.
And get the baseball season, a good team there. Track, of course, led by Evanich. Great as always.
Cam Evanich. As a track runner myself at EBC last year, just even seeing Cam Evanich, he's a monster on the track and field team. If I'm not mistaken, he won the 100, the 200, and the 400. So
I think he did.
All just monstrous numbers. And
at Salem?
Yeah, that was EBC at Salem. I mean,
yes, he did.
He is insane. And then he went on to also win regionals. Just absolutely insane. And for Alliance, we were actually able to take him down in long jump because of was it long jump or high jump? It was Jaron Blair. Jaron Blair was able. I know he was able to win long jump. I don't quite recall if he was able to take high jump, but he was able to beat out Cam Evanich there.
And another through ball here for the Marlington Dukes. It is loose inside the 18-yard blocks. Played right back up the guts. Cermak able to clear the area. But another scary sequence for the Nordonia Knights. Going back to Cam Evanich, though, best of wishes to him as he looks to recover from that awful arm injury.
Yeah, definitely. That was definitely scary. And Cam Evanich, who, well, I would say as an Alliance student, there's, Marlington is your rivals, but there's just so many people that between both schools that I would never wish ill will on anyone from Marlington. I do hope Cam Evanich recovers well from that injury.
We want to see him in basketball season, but the main thing, we want to see him healthy. And if there's anybody who can get through that, it's him. I mean, his resilience off the charts. And that's been knowing him for the past year. A nice little ball played inside the 18-yard box towards Guess. But there is a clearance for the Nordonia Knights.
Yeah, Cam Evanich he's one tough cookie.
And he has to be. I mean, 3 sport athletes, Mr. Do-It-All, really. But going back to this Marlington boys soccer team, how do you even break this team down? Because we've seen a bunch of different teams try. We've seen great teams like Revere put their best foot forward and get a draw. How do you break this team down? Howell is the only team that's figured it out. And that was a 1-0 game, so I wouldn't say truly broken down.
Yeah, I think it's not what their weaknesses are, it's just how many strengths they have. They're just, I think we've said this before, but they're just multidimensional. They're more than one dimension. It's not just defense, it's not just Brock Swisher. They have a great offense, and it's not just they have a great offense through one person. They have a great offense through everyone. They're just all around a great team. And so I think for them, that strength of the team compatibility, their offensive strengths, and their defensive strengths just make them a really great all-around team.
They do everything right. They do the little things especially well. And with 22 minutes left to play in regulation, it's all Marlington tonight, up by 5 on the Nordonia Knights. We've seen them now 3 times this regular season. You combine those score lines, 14-0. And a nice tackle/ball roll by Ramos. That was smooth in stride. I mean, that wasn't truly a challenge. That was simply acting like you had the ball, but he didn't. Coleman up the near wing. Another good opportunity. Guess played in. And he will have to backtrack as it goes out of play, and it'll be a throw-in for Marlington. And now looking down below, there is potentially some movement for Nordonia, an injured player, and we'll see if he comes back in. Just had a quick conversation with the trainer, and it looks like he is going to get some ice here. And we'll have hopefully some updates on that in a few moments. But in the meantime, that ball goes out of play, and it'll be a corner as we see a substitution for Marlington. Deegan Cowden, the sophomore, checking in. And he will come in for Tommy Miller. But one more goal in the final 20 minutes would be running clock.
Yeah, and like you kind of touched on the OHSA soccer rules, it basically already is a running clock. Just some small things that are able to, grant that stoppage of time. But I don't think that with, like you said, 20 minutes left, there will be much of a offensive output from the Nordonia Knights. They've been their offense has not been their strong suit so far throughout this game. But we'll have to see how it plays out for them.
And we are officially now very close to that halfway point of the second half. Only 20 minutes left to play. Nordonia, though, still being very aggressive. And you compare them to Streetsboro, more aggressive offensively in comparison, I would say. That Streetsboro game, there was not much offense. Nordonia, they're still fighting with everything they have. Their center backs, they have been great. I mean, Rafferty, we've called his name a number of times. So many key challenges, and there is another one that time by Jackson Neal. Just getting in there and getting some separation. And in the meantime, Pickering, he goes to ground. The grass gets him. A lot of victims from the grass monster tonight. Marlington, they want that 6th here. Still plenty of their starters on the pitch. Tate plays this one inside the 18-yard box and easily picked up by the goalkeeper.
Yeah, great throwing by Aiden Tate. Got it inside the 18-yard box. Just nobody there to put it in.
And I feel like there are so many good crosses. We saw it last night on the corners. Corner after corner, right in a perfect spot inside the 18-yard box. But nobody at that perfect spot, and that is half the battle. You can have the perfect ball played in, but if it's not right on the money, it's not right on the money. Nordonia, though, some good skill trying to get up the pitch, but a bad reverb sends them right back. And Marlington in stride able to get some separation, and we will have a whistle giving possession to the Dukes. Reminder, stay with us after our final commercial break tonight as we will announce our player of the game presented by SmeeSports. A lot of good candidates on the Marlington Dukes tonight. And I will say, senior night last night for Minerva Girls Soccer, that was a 6-0 victory Marlington getting close to doing the same exact thing tonight. And then from there, our next soccer game would be in the playoffs. Alliance and Madison.
Just one more goal for the Dukes. Will make it a running clock. That one bounces just to the right and hits that back fence. But playoff soccer, it's here. And if I'm not mistaken, the Alliance boys are playing Streetsboro on Saturday.
Streetsboro closes out their regular season, yes.
And they play Madison, which will be fun. I'll be there regardless if I'm not there with you, Smee, but I think I will be.
That'll be a good one to have you. Another good ball played in, and as well, checking the weather app, it is officially below 50, now 49 degrees in Alliance tonight. So a chilly one at the Marlington Soccer Complex. I mean, I'm out in the hoodie tonight. That really does not happen until late in the regular season or even the playoffs for these fall sports. But the spring, yeah, we're going to see that through May usually.
Yeah, it's actually so chilly now. If you look closely on your screen, you can see Coleman wearing a beanie on the field, which is amazing. It's just fun to see. Notice the little things like that.
What's better, that or Iki's coat during the St. V's game?
Wow, that was amazing. I was watching that live stream, and the added aura gives the Aviators a run. That was amazing. That's one of my favorite Smee calls.
No winner. 3 hours and no winner.
It's ridiculous. So that was a crazy game, and I'm also excited for baseball season, but we got a long way till that.
Yes, we do. And speaking of beanies, Coach Calgill also in a beanie tonight, the first time we've seen that. Everybody's a little bit cold tonight, and no surprise at all. Here's a chance for the Dukes, bouncing in. Coleman slips inside the 18-yard box, and it is an easy chance for Cermak to clear his line. But the Dukes still trying to push the pressure on. Ramos goes right into a wall of Knights, but intercepted again by the Dukes. That's Hartzler, the senior, now slipping. Nordonia now trying to control possession in the midfield, trying to build another good attack, and they now are starting to get those numbers forward. Here is the long shot, but it is a simple pop-up for Brock Swisher.
Brock Swisher just able to make the easy play there. Like you said, a pop-up. Not the air raid that we've been used to seeing, but air raid that time coming from Nordonia, as that one was skied up. But again, make the easy play, and that one's going to be offsides.
Another nice pass from TJ Guest down low to Coleman, but still just mistimed the run. Coleman offside, and that'll give possession right back to Nordonia.
Now Coleman, he has scored tonight off of a great goal, might I add. You know who hasn't scored tonight yet?
Max Nichols. Still looking for that elusive goal. A chance here for Nordonia. The defense almost caught sleeping. That Shoemaker with the clearance. The Knights applying some late pressure. They want one on the board here. A nice ball played inside the 6-yard box. But Brock Swisher easily times that one up and gets the simple stop.
Yeah, a good ball, but just a little too close to Brock Swisher as he's able to make the play there again. Able to just make the easy play when it's needed.
And a nice tap. That is TJ Guest in stride on the far side. One Duke, that is Coleman inside the 18-yard box. Marlington in long search of that 6th goal. Is the search still on? Yes, it is. Coleman played behind, unable to get on the end of it. But the ball still in the vicinity. Ramos now back, Hartzler. Hartzler, he will square to the top of the 18-yard box. Coleman plays top. Guest slips it inside. Here's the chance, but right at the goalkeeper. A strong shot by Stanilla, but right at the new shot stopper in Chanel.
Yeah, Stanilla just tried to turn that corner. Bend the ball in there like he was Beckham, but no bueno for him. I mean, you look at that. Another good opportunity for the Dukes. Again, just unable to come away with the goal. And
too much physicality there.
Yeah.
Tate with the slide tackle. Shoemaker doing a little dancing there. A little do-si-do with the Knights. But I think they went too quick. Whistle blew immediately after the ball was sent away. And it'll come right back. The clock does continue to run. Less than 14 minutes to go in regulation. Marlington up 5-0 on the Nordonia Knights tonight. A good long ball play just to the edge of the 18-yard box and double-headed away by the Dukes. A lot of headers tonight from Marlington. Ramos now in stride. Here come the Dukes. A chance to get that final goal they want to put the cherry on top. Ramos, a light poke. It's a give and go. Ramos slipping inside the 18-yard box, but he loses it off to his right in the end. But Nordonia playing with fire. The ball goes right back to Marlington, and that'll be a light pop-up that should go out of play for a throw-in, and it does. And that'll give Marlington the opportunity to make a double change. It'll be Miller along with Smith coming back in. Iden Tate subs out potentially for the final time today, and we will see who else is joining him. Really couldn't get a good visual on who that is. But either way, there was a second change in there and a very physical follow-through. That time it was Washington. And the clock is going to stop, and I think this is going to be a yellow card.
Yeah, Washington just throwing him the cold shoulder, pushing through. Too much shoving for the referee, and yeah, that'll likely be a card.
I mean, you can't do that in that spot, just too much with that arm. I get creating separation, but the push kind of epitomizes the frustration tonight. But it'll be a free kick for Shoemaker and the Dukes. 12:53 on the clock as it is stopped. So we will see how Shoemaker and company decide to go about this opportunity. I'm going to guess something played to the edge of the 6-yard box. Maybe get Coleman or somebody else on the end of it for a header. Very similar to a goal that we saw last night, and that could easily be the case here. He also could go short. A quick run being made by Cowden. Ball poked just to the edge of the 6-yard box. There's the header, but not in. We had the recipe. We had the script there, Cooper. Just not the follow-through.
And that's something that
And whoa, the goalkeeper just went outside the box and went right back in with the ball in his hands.
Can't believe I just missed that. That's crazy. I forgot to cut. But that was definitely weird. And you hear a little bit of yelling. But here we go. Whistle blows.
I'm very confused right now.
Yeah, I'm lost. And I was totally lost. I forgot what we were talking about before that.
I think it was the free kick.
Yeah. All right. My train of thought is chugging again. But I feel like we've done that a few times this year. You especially have just talked it up while it's happening and perfectly predicted what was going to go on.
And perfectly done again. And that time the goalkeeper is pushed down. And that should be a clear card. Once again, an unnecessary follow-through.
Yeah, that time, no baloney from the Marlington Dukes, just getting physical there, and we don't quite, that's just not a great look.
Clear yellow card. I believe that is Tommy Miller, and he will sub out of the game as Hartzler comes back in. But a lot of senseless tackles down the stretch tonight.
Definitely the kind of physicality you would expect from a rivalry game. A little bit how we talked about it, the beefing from opposing teams' bar stools, but not what I was expecting, at least physicality-wise.
We'll see how the Barstools react after this game. I'm sure something's going to be said by Marlington's Barstool. I'm looking forward to that internet conversation tonight.
Ooh, the internet trash talkers always.
The absolute cinema. The absolute cinema there.
Absolute cinema.
And we'll see Marlington again tomorrow. So far this week, the teams that we're here for, technically 2 for 2. One of our teams will win tomorrow night as we are there for both Minerva and Marlington. So we'll see who officially gets the double this weekend, who goes 1-1. And as well, it's the M&M EBC game. One of a kind.
One of a kind.
One of a kind in the area. The only other close team with an M is, McKinley, if you want to call them, but that's still Canton McKinley. Massillon. That's still Washington.
Washington, Massillon, yeah.
But Marlington, Minerva, those are the M&Ms, and we'll see them tomorrow. But those are not my M&M colors. Maybe red is an M&M color I like, but I would say blue is my M&M color.
That's a good color. I would say, and this is maybe a little controversial, I don't pick and choose my M&Ms. I just grab a handful and throw them in my mouth.
You can tell I definitely do the same. Did it with the gummy clusters before the game as well.
We were having some gummy clusters courtesy of J-Rod, but
we have a good time up here.
Yeah, we always have a good time.
Always a fun time. Always a good day when you get to go and cover some of the best athletes in the area. But definitely a great way to cap off our regular season coverage outside of football. It's been another fun campaign. Obviously, getting, for football at least, the call back home for Holy Name, getting that call again for winter sports is going to be great. Same with spring for baseball. Expanding to Minerva, keeping our Marlington and Alliance coverage ramping up. I believe over 30 games so far this fall. It's been a great ride, and even some Tri-C baseball in there. Winter's up next, and we're excited for that as well, but excited to conclude the fall season in style with a few extra great games as the playoffs are here. Guest takes a chance. Still a loose ball inside the 6-yard box, and it'll be a corner, I would assume. But once again, the grass keeps it alive. Marlington, basically a pseudo corner, takes it from right in front of the flag, and they have a chance to whip this one in. Cowden. Beautiful cross inside the 6-yard box, poking right to the goalkeeper, and he is able to pick that one up. And speaking of goalkeepers, Antonio Stanilla warming up down to our left to come in for Swisher.
And how about that pass right there? That was a great pass inside. The header just off a little bit to the right.
Loose ball here for Nordonia. Marlington able to track back and take back possession. Once again, it's Cowden able to whip the ball in deep in his final third, but now playing the defensive advocate. Pitts forward. And a lot of seniors about to sub in for the Marlington Dukes.
It is senior night after all.
And we'll see who all comes in. Now 9 minutes left to play in regulation, and we'll see the next time this ball actually does go out of play to see those changes. This could be a minute or two, but right now 5 Dukes lined up, patiently awaiting their chance. Nordonia keeping it in once again on the near flank. Hernandez trying to get it up the wing. Cowden pokes it out of play, and here will be the throw in. And they will not allow the subs to come in during this window, so they will still wait to come in. Hernandez another challenge, but the Dukes able to get out of it. That challenge too much. Cermak able to win it for the Knights. Nordonia right now, they just want that goal. Something on the board, but Marlington, Coleman specifically in here, able to cut it back. 3 Dukes getting open. Loose ball inside the 6-yard box. Here's the one-on-one chance, but a good charge and a good drop save by Nordonia once again. Their resolve still high in this matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. And I tell you what, the goalkeeping change for them actually so far has worked out very well.
Only 1 goal allowed in the second half. And I would say Marlington has been very, very active. Whistle blows and the flag does go up for offside. And I think Nordonia trying to appeal to their case that it wasn't a handball, and it wouldn't matter anyway as it was called offside first. And it was his shoulder, so no. But still the subs being told to wait. Now 7.5 to play in regulation. Marlington still up by 5. Nothing outside of an early strike in the second half for their offense. Plenty of chances, but nothing finding that back of the nets. And same with Nordonia. A fair amount of chances, just still waiting the one that gives them a goal, if they do find it tonight. Coleman played it on the near wing. Now with the beanie on. 2 Dukes getting open inside the 18-yard box. Coleman plays it to the edge of the box, squares it in across the face of goal. Nobody home again. And there is the small clearance right back to Zach Pitts. Marlington still in the vicinity. Now less than 7 to play in regulation. Marlington 5, Nordonia 0 your score tonight if you're just tuning in. Pitts now battling for possession. Nordonia takes it back. A nice little poke forward. And the Knights very nearly going on. And there is the catastrophic slip as possession goes back to the Dukes. And Marlington might be in once again. And there is the heavy clearance. It'll be a throw-in. And this will be the substitution window for the Marlington Dukes. Brock Swisher, his day is done. And we will see a whole host of changes for the Marlington Dukes. And the bench, along with their faithful, you hear their cheers. They love tonight. A very successful senior night for the Dukes. And it is going to be a different cast trying to close out the final 6 minutes and 10 seconds. And the special thing for this senior class, this isn't their final home game in their Marlington career. They have Ravenna, and if they win that one, they get 1 extra. That is the benefit of being the number 2 seed, number 9 overall. Not absurd to say that they belong in the Elite 8. But can they make regionals? That's the question. All the people here on Mulan Avenue definitely hope that is the case. But on the opposite end, we could see Alliance make it there for boys soccer, yes, but also football. For football, you just got to win 2 games. 1 at home and 1 on the road. or if they get high enough, top 4 seed, which they could. I mean, they could.
Yeah.
Hawkins, that 4th team right now.
Just depends on how they close out the rest of their season. They would need a big win against West Branch.
And just went out. That's all they need for it.
Yeah.
Tate, I believe, is going to take a tip off of his hand. And it is going to be a free kick for the Nordonia Knights. Once again, a valiant effort for them tonight. But this night belongs to the Dukes. The boys in orange, they fought for this one. They fought hard all off season. Those long days in the summer, they create these magical October nights. You got to have those strong practices then to play strong now. And I feel like they played really strong here today. A good long shot, but it'll go wide. But assuming this result holds, Cooper, 9 goals allowed in the regular season.
That's very impressive. I mean, you have to give some credit both to the Marlington defenders, but just to Brock Swisher, because he is an absolute stud for the Dukes.
9 goals allowed then in, I believe, 17 games. That is off the charts. And assuming they hold up against Ravenna, that would be 9-18 heading into Louisville, a team that you've already held a clean sheet against this season.
Yeah, I mean, just absolutely incredible work from this Dukes team.
And we'll see what kind of schedule they have next year. I wouldn't be surprised if you see Revere come back on that schedule, but also some other big dogs. Maybe seeing Glen Oak here, which I think that's going to be a matchup. Maybe you see some other tough Federal League teams. Maybe you see a Jackson. Maybe you see a Perry come in.
Yeah, I was going to say, you have to think the strength of schedule as you get better, it has to change. You know, Marlington, if they keep, no offense to their schedule this year, but if they keep playing some of the teams that they have, it's not going to be serve as much of a challenge for them. If they play, like you said, Glen Oak, Perry, these big schools, that will serve as a great challenge for their program, and I think it's not ridiculous to say that they win some of those games.
Give them Padua, too. Padua just won the North Coast Conference. That could be an interesting matchup there. I mean, you go Hoban as well. Walsh, are they on Walsh's level? I don't know. That's a tough one. Ignatius, I think, is too far.
Yeah, that might be a step over the line. But Walsh, again, that could be an interesting one. I'm familiar with at least one of Walsh Jesuits soccer players. Shout out to Graham Lones, former legendary Alliance middle school cross country and track and field runner, someone who I've ran with. He's a great kid, and you know, I'd like to be able to see any of my teams play him, any of the teams that we cover here play against them. But like you said, that might be that's one of those. It might be a stretch.
But you look at who is lost after this year. You look at who comes back a year better. This Marlington team is probably gonna get even better next year, which that's wild to say in its own right.
Yeah, every game that we cover here, I remember. Oh my gosh, Brock Swisher's a junior. He has one more year, and as
a lot of these guys, you don't think by the way they play that they're not seniors, but they're not.
Yeah, and you know, as an Alliance fan, it's just like, oh man, we got to deal with Brock Swisher for another year.
But at his gill on the far side, trying to get the ball for Marlington, and it'll tip off of him. But good to see the rest of the seniors getting involved in this game late. You have the win. You're up by 5. You get those guys involved. You let them do their thing on senior night. You shored things up. You got the mechanics down. You're ready for Ravenna. You're ready for Salem/Louisville. You're ready for your district final. You're ready from the perspective of all of those games. And if you do everything right, it's a regional tournament appearance for the Marlington Dukes.
Yeah, I mean, this is just an incredible team, like you said, you know, or like I was kind of touching on. From the POV of a Alliance fan, it's, oh gosh, we have to deal with Brock Swisher again. But from the POV of a broadcaster, it's, oh man, we get to watch Brock Swisher again. Because he's just so incredible. Like we've said already a few times on this broadcast, possibly the best goalie in Stark County. I mean, he is a absolute machine.
He has been great, and you would expect nothing less from Brock Swisher. He has been truly tremendous this season. Once again, 9 goals allowed in the regular season is insane work from the Marlington Dukes defense. It all starts with Brock, but you have to give credit to the other guys. Shoemaker especially, he has been a big defender for them. The Marlington Dukes, a well-oiled machine from top to bottom. Great youth infrastructure, great varsity coaching, great JV coaching. From top to bottom, this is truly a premier program in Stark County, and they are a minute away from win number 12 in the regular season and solidifying that 12-1-4 regular season campaign. You draw 4 times more than you lose, and I'm saying 4 times meaning times 4 multiplier opposed to 4 times more would be 3 times, but
Yeah.
it's weird to say it because both are kind of there, but one's inaccurate.
Yeah, I know. I feel I'm picking up what you're putting down, but yeah, well-oiled for sure is the way to describe these Marlington Dukes. I mean, they are just, like you said, an incredible machine, top to bottom. It's an engine firing on all cylinders.
Nordonia, one final opportunity tonight, trying to play this one inside the 18-yard box. A chance for a late strike. They will have a corner awarded to them, but I don't think enough time for them to get it off. They will work it slow. They won't take it, and the Marlington Dukes will get the win. Your final score tonight, 5-0, and Marlington has won for the 12th time this regular season. The first season's done. 12-1-4. Only loss against Howland, and Howland is an insane team.
Yeah,
Marlington has proven the sky's the limit.
Howland is an absolutely stacked soccer team for sure, and I don't know if you've talked about this very much, but next sports year, Howland will be joining the EBC for football.
Yes.
And so that's going to be definitely an interesting adventure with the EBC sports coverage. We'll have to see how that plays out.
And I do believe that the reverse fixture is here next year for the soccer game, so that'll be a fun one. One season's done for Marlington boys soccer, but now it is off to the playoffs. One final commercial break, then we will be back on to announce our player of the game presented by SmeeSports and to debrief from tonight's senior night matchup, your final Marlington 5, Nordonia 0. Now time for a word from our sponsor, and back to the action we go.
With 8 years of real estate experience and deep roots in Alliance, Heather Prince is more than just your local realtor. She's a proud graduate of Alliance High School and the University of Mount Union. She is also a lifelong supporter of her community. As a dedicated Homes for Heroes affiliate, Heather is honored to give back to those who serve. Teachers, healthcare professionals, firefighters, and EMTs, along with law enforcement who buy or sell a home with Heather, will receive a special reward check after closing. A heartfelt thank you for their service. Local, loyal, here for our heroes. Thinking of making a move? Contact Heather today. Heather Prince with Howard Hanna Real Estate Services, your hometown real estate experts.
Well, welcome back to the Marlington Soccer Complex. 5-0 your final tonight in Alliance, Ohio. The Dukes get a big senior night victory over the Nordonia Knights. Your players of the game presented by SmeeSports. Tonight was for them. Tonight they played for themselves, and tonight they produced. It's the seniors, the class of 2026. All of them get player of the game honors tonight. You can give it to some of the goal scorers, but the reason why they played so well tonight, they played for more than just themselves. They played for the leaders, the upperclassmen, the seniors.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, players of the game, plural. The seniors do such a great job leading their team. You know, like you said, it's not always just about scoring the goals. You know, it's those intangibles it's those unmeasurables. And, you know, the Marlington Dukes have it. We've seen it throughout the season. This is their 12th win. An incredible squad. Huge, huge shout out to their seniors here.
Truly tremendous from them as Sweet Caroline rings out, not for the last time this season, assuming they win against Ravenna, and then from there in the district semi, the great tradition here at Marlington, and this is a, not to cross over songs, but a sweet, sweet victory for them.
There you go.
But 12-1-4 in the regular season. Once again, only loss was to Warren Howland. This was a great regular season campaign. They did everything right, 9 goals allowed. I think you agree here. Regionals and beyond. That's what we expect from this team now.
Yeah, you said it best earlier. The sky is really the limit for them.
I don't think it's ridiculous to say, especially as they are the 9th overall seed, that we see them in a regional final, that we see them in the Final Four, or dare we say that we see them at historic Crew Stadium in November.
I mean, we saw how they played against a team like Revere, who has been to many state championship games in recent history, if I'm not mistaken.
Serial winner.
They are a great team, and Marlington was able to compete with them. They tied them. That was one of their 4 draws. The only team they lost to, like you said, is Howland, which is an absolutely stacked squad. I don't think it's ridiculous to say that Marlington goes far in the playoffs this year.
And a big reason why they have all of this success, the man running on your screen, Clayton Cowgill. what a job he has done as the skipper of this squad. He has really built up this program. Marlington now a household name in boys soccer in the Stark County area. But as for Nordonia, they end the year 4-11-2. Some positives tonight. They're a gritty team, a lot of resolve, and I think they have a shot on the road in Akron next week against Akron North.
Yeah, they have a great defense. We saw it for quite some time, if I'm not mistaken, and throughout the game, rather, the Dukes were not able to capitalize off of any corner kicks. They only scored once off of a set piece, and that was from a free kick. So the defense is very strong here for the Nordonia Knights. It's there all day. I think they're gritty. I think they can compete.
Any closing comments?
I don't think I have any. Just a huge shout out to the Marlington seniors. A great game from them. 5-0. That's how you look to close it out for senior night.
And as we said, the sky is the limit, truly, for Marlington Dukes boys soccer. To stay up to date on all the games that we are covering, follow SmeeSports on all of our social media platforms. SmeeSports on Instagram, SmeeFist2024 on Twitter, SmeeSports LLC on LinkedIn, and SmeeSports LLC on Facebook as well. Make sure on top of that you go down below and subscribe while hitting the notification bell so you are alerted whenever we go live or upload. Our goal is 5,250 subscribers by the end of this calendar year. If you're new, go down below and subscribe. There's no cost, but it greatly helps out all we do. We are less than 10 subscribers away from 5,100, so we are slowly but surely chipping away at that goal. We hope to hit it soon. It was a couple of weeks ago that we got over the 5,000 subscriber threshold, and now the goal is just to continue climbing and grinding. Basketball season, it's around the corner. Once we have the Youth Elite again, that's going to be a big one for us. Once we have these big basketball games, it's going to be a lot of growth. So now is the time to get right with us. And same for business owners. Make sure you join on with us as a broadcast sponsor. It is a lot of bang for your buck. One of the more inexpensive ways to get your name out there, but one of the best overall ways to get your ads out to so many people in your target markets. Reach out to us on the avenues on your screen. And once again, we thank Heather Prince of Howard Hanna, along with Spectrum Channel 1022 Alliance, for bringing us on to stream today's game. Always great to have a sponsor, and always great to work with Spectrum Channel 1022 Alliance and the students that they provide from their video production career tech program. A lot of good students working for us this year, and you saw one of the best down on the sideline today working our sideline cam. It's always great to see that, especially with the dugouts, the way that they are oriented here. You kind of block some of the action, so it's great to be able to see that with that camera down below. Our next broadcast is tomorrow night. Maybe you could see it on your screen if we really, really, really look into the distance above them. Marlington High School at the football field. It is the Marlington Dukes taking on a very talented Minerva Lions squad. 6:15 pregame, 7 p.m. kickoff live at Marlington High School. That'll be myself and Daniel Clark, a.k.a. the guy who made a 2-minute rant on Chick-fil-A at the last game he called on the call. Bryce Fisher on his birthday will be with us, as well as a pregame co-host along with our sideline camera operator. Happy birthday early to Bryce. He went out to dinner tonight to celebrate with some family and friends, so best wishes to him. Excited to see him tomorrow and have him do some great work once again, as he always does a tremendous job on the sideline for us. After tomorrow, then, our sights turn to the playoffs. Potentially Tuesday, Minerva Carrollton, but for sure, Alliance and Madison on Wednesday. Then you flip back to some Holy Name action. Holy Name Padua on 10/24. That'll round out Friday Night Lights. Reminder, on the 17th, week 9, we do not have a game, as I am calling some Mount Union volleyball. We also could have Holy Name volleyball on the road at West Branch in the playoffs. That could happen. And on top of that, maybe the next playoff game after Ravenna for Marlington, if they make it. That is all hearsay for now. That is not confirmed, but that is our hope as things stand. But for now, that'll do it for us here at Smee Sports at the Marlington Soccer Complex on senior night. It is Mambo number 5 for the Dukes as they get the 5-0 victory over the Nordonia Knights. For Cooper Fontaine, I am Nathan Smee saying so long from Alliance, Ohio, and we will see you again next time. This has been OHSAA Boys Soccer on Smee Sports in partnership with Spectrum Channel 1022 Alliance. Thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you again next time.